Good evening, Dhamma brothers and sisters. We pay respect to the Buddha first by reciting Namo Tassa 3 times. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Yesterday we have learned about Indriya Paccaya. Today we are going to learn about Jhana Paccaya, Jhana condition. Let us see Jhana Paccaya. Jhana Paccaya is the ability to concentrate on one object. The simile of Jhana Paccaya is like the one who is at the top of the tree or mountain can see the view clearly. He can see the view from the tree and tells people who are on the ground about the view. In the same way, a person who arrives at the top of mountain tells people below about how water flows, how beautiful trees are. He tells other people so that they can see as he's seeing. There are 5 jhana factors: Vitakka, initial application; Vichara, sustained application; Piti, joy or happiness; Sukha, bliss; and Ekaggata, one-pointedness. Just like a person who climbs up the tree or mountain and tells people below about the view, so also the 5 jhana factors lead the associated citta, cetasika, and cettica rupa to concentrate on one object as the 5 jhana factors concentrate. Jhana Paccaya is a condition which gives the power to the mind to concentrate only on one object. Jhana is a mental absorption in one object. Many people think that jhana is only on the good side, such as Rupavajara jhana, Arupavajara jhana. Actually, Jhana Paccaya are on Kusala side, Akusala side, and Abhyagata side also. It is mentioned in Patthana text as Kusalo Dhammo, Kusalasa Dhammasa, Jhana Paccayena Paccayo, Akusalo Dhammo, Akusalasa Dhammasa, Jhana Paccayena Paccayo, Abhyagato Dhammo, Abhyagatasa Dhammasa, Jhana Paccayena Paccayo. Kusalo Dhammo, Kusalasa Dhammasa, Jhana Paccayena Paccayo means Kusala Dhamma causes to arise Kusala Dhamma by way of Jhana Paccaya. Akusala Dhammo, Akusalasa Dhammasa, Jhana Paccayena Paccayo means Akusala Dhamma causes to arise Akusala Dhamma by way of Jhana Paccaya. Abhyagato Dhammo, Abhyagatasa Dhammasa, Jhana Paccayena Paccayo means Abhyagata Dhamma causes to arise Abhyagata Dhamma by way of Jhana Paccaya. For example, When dosa arises in our mind sustains on the object which we are angry with. Our mind is entirely absorbed in the angry object. This perspective is akusala jhana. On the contrary, if our mind sustains or is entirely absorbed in the anapanapatibhaga nimitta for 1 hour, 2 hours, or 3 hours, this is kusala jhana. They are jhana paccaya, absorption condition. Let us examine further on akusala side of jhana paccaya. As I mentioned in the indriya paccaya before, a woman's appearance is the most attractive to men, and a man's appearance is also the most attractive to women. So with attachment, when they stare at each other, this is akusala jhana. If she goes away, he intensely or deeply think about her. This is vitaka. Vichara is to examine the object repeatedly, not to make it disappear. So if he could talk to someone about her, he would talk. If he could not talk, his thought would completely be preoccupied with her. This is a kind of feeling for them, but in reality, it is an obsession. Another example, seeing fascinating movie passionately or listening to songs enthusiastically for 1 hour, 2 hours without knowing the pain is due to akusala jhana concentration. Let us see the kusala side. The attainment of jhana is kusala. If we do not give our mind a practice on concentration, we cannot focus on the in-breath and out-breath even for 1 minute. However, because of practicing again and again, we can attain jhana. We can focus on one object for a long time. At the time, 5 jhana factors exist: vitaka, vichara, piti, sukha, and ekaggata. Vitaka, initial application, applying the mind on the object. Vichara, sustained application, examining the object repeatedly. Piti, joy or happiness, liking the object. Sukha, feeling blissful on the object. Ekaggata, one-pointed mind on the object. This is kusala jhana. Another example on kusala jhana side is to do recollection of the inspiring qualities of the Buddha or recollection of the Buddha's attribute. And instead of thinking intensely about one's beloved one, now, how many Buddha's attribute? Can you tell?
9.
Yeah, 9. We can do recollection of the Buddha's attribute, choose one of 9 and do repeatedly. That also, it is a kind of meditation, Buddhanusati. Now the new object is the Buddha's attribute. Recollection of the Buddha's attribute intensely, Vitaka, thinking about the Buddha's attribute wholeheartedly. Vichara, examining the Buddha's attribute repeatedly. Piti, liking the Buddha's attribute. Sukha, feeling blissful on the Buddha's attribute. And Ekagata, one-pointedness mind on the Buddha's attribute. This is Kamavachara Kusala Jhana. There is a story about Bodhisattva Mahathira. After the Buddha attained Parinibbana, the Mahathira swept the platform of the Jediya, and his mind was very pleased. So he recollects the Buddha's attribute wholeheartedly by taking the Buddha image as the real Buddha in the mind. The 5 jhana factors appeared very clearly. At the time, Mara, who worries that Mahathira would attain higher Dhamma, disguised himself as a big monkey and came. When Mahathira saw the monkey, he could not concentrate anymore. The next day, the Mahathira came to the Jediya again and absorbedly recollected the Buddha's attribute by taking the Buddha image as the real Buddha in the mind. At the time, also Mara appeared again and disguised himself as an old cow. When the Mahathira saw the cow, he could not concentrate anymore. The next day, he came to Jediya and recollected on the Buddha's attribute. Mara also appeared. Mara also appeared again and disguised himself as an ugly man who had bow-legged. When the Mara saw the man, he thought that in this area, no one is ugly like this man. So he realized that maybe Mara was disturbing him. So he asked, "Are you Mara?" Mara also did not tell lie and admitted yes. He was not angry at Mara. And he requested, "You are very powerful. Please create the Buddha image for me." Mara said, "I cannot create an exact Buddha image, but can create it almost similar. If so, create the almost similar Buddha image for me." When he saw the Buddha image created by Mara, he looked at the image very respectfully and thought that even created by Mara, who had not yet eliminated kilesa, the image was very respectful. And how respectful it would be as the real Buddha, who had eliminated all kilesa and endowed with Metta, Karuna, and Sabbenyutta Jnana. After that, he recollected on the Buddha's attribute with concentration by taking the real object, real Buddha, as the object in the mind. And all 5 jhana factors appeared clearly. He contemplated vipassana on piti as anicca, dukkha, and anatta, and he became finally he became an arahant. Another example is King Asoka, who was very famous in the Sasana. After 218 years of the Buddha's parinibbana, when King Asoka became a Buddhist. He respected the Buddha very much, so he wanted to see the real Buddha's image. His command spread a yojana into the air, and a yojana entered the earth. A yojana means 1 yojana is equal 12 miles. So his command spread 1 yojana into the air, and 1 yojana entered the earth. So he called on the king of dragon named Kalanaga, who stayed within 1 yojana under the earth, and its lifespan is this 1 whole world. King Asoka let him sit on the throne and requested him to create the Buddha's image. King Kalanaga created the Buddha's image, which looked very respectful, and showed the image to the King Asoka. The king very happily worshipped and looked at the Buddha's image for 7 days. How good was his concentration? Another example is Asandimeta, who was the queen of King Asoka. She wanted to hear the Buddha sound, so she expressed her feeling to the bhikkhu. The bhikkhu told her that they heard the sound of a kind of bird called Kalawika in Pali. Was very good and almost similar to the Buddha's sound. So she requested to King Asoka that she wanted to listen to the sound of the bird called Karawika. In Myanmar, Karawik. Finally, they got 1 Karawika bird, but it did not make any sound because it was lonely. They covered the room with mirrors. The bird was very happy seeing many bugs in the room and make sound. The sound was very pleasant and nice, and she thought that even the sound of a bird, which had not yet eliminated kilesa, was very pleasant. So how pleasant it would be as the sound of the real Buddha who eliminated all kilesa. So she felt very happy with piti. Kamawajara jhana arose in her, and so contemplated vipassana on piti. Based on that concentration, not only does she, but also the lesser wives of King Asoka attained Sotapanna. How good they are to impress. Now, about Santimetta will be explained. One day, when the Buddha and Ananda visited Kusinara, the Mara chieftain ordered that whoever failed to pay homage to the Buddha would be fined 500 coins. A name A man named Roja was Venerable Ananda's friend, and the Venerable Ananda was pleased to see his friend arriving to pay respect to the Buddha. However, one Roja said that he did so because of his chieftain order. Venerable Ananda was bitterly disappointed and requested the Buddha do something so that Roja could respect the Buddha's sasana. The Buddha said, Ananda, it is not difficult. With concentration, the Buddha sent metta to Roja. Very soon, Roja searched for the Buddha. Where is the Buddha? Where is the Buddha? He was just like a baby cow searching for the mother. Since then, he respected the Buddha and Sasana. In the case of sending metta, also, one sending awira hontu, abhya bhaja hontu. If the mind with concentration sent the metta, taking beings as the object, the 5 jhana factors might arise. This kind of sending metta is only the metta of kamavajara kusala jhana, and it is not rupavajara jhana yet. One sending awira hontu, abhya bhaja hontu. If the mind wanders or thinks about something else, it will not be called metta kamavajara kusala jhana. Without any expectation, one sending metta is real metta, and it will affect a lot. But if expecting something, one sending metta, it is not real metta and will not have effect. Mahaganayo Sayadaw talked about his experience when he was young, that he sent metta to the beings who stay on the road where he would go for alms tomorrow. On the next day, he got good curry from that road, and he thought, my metta is powerful. On that night, he also sent metta again to the beings staying on that road. The next day, he did not receive any curry from the house, which he received good curry yesterday. He realized that his metta is not real metta. That is because he wanted to get curry. So do not send metta owing to wanting to get something. Without any expectation, sending metta to being with the intention for them to be happy is very powerful and effective. Another example is Venerable Devadatta asked the elephant keeper to let Naragiri elephant drink a large amount of alcohol and let it attack the Buddha. Naragiri elephant rashly ran toward the Buddha. At the time, Venerable Ananda asked the Buddha to avoid the elephant. But the Buddha did not avoid elephant, so Venerable Ananda obstructed it by standing in front of the Buddha. The Buddha moved Venerable Ananda aside and said, let it be, don't worry. And then, with concentration, he sent metta to the drunken elephant. When it arrived near to the Buddha, It kneels down and surrender to the Buddha. So Sandimetta with concentration and without any expectation is real effective. If we do Buddhanussati or Sandimitta, we have to do it with concentration. If we do superficially without concentration, the result would be small and not too obvious. Not only by doing recollection of Buddhanussati or Sandimitta, but also by reflection on Asubha Bhavana with concentration. One could attain higher Dhamma. Asubha Bhavana is the meditation on loathsome necks of corpse. At a time, one bhikkhu and one novice went to the forest to cut some trees to make stick used to clean teeth. In ancient time, there is no toothbrush maybe. It looked similar to a toothpick nowadays. When the novice went to one place, he saw a corpse and reflected on the corpse, Asubha Bhavana. He got concentration by reflecting on the corpse, Asubha Bhavana, and contemplated Vipassana, seeing the characteristic of anicca, impermanent, dukkha, suffering, and anatta, non-self, and he attained Sotapanna, Sakadagami, then to attain Anagami state. At the time, he heard the bhikkhu calling him, and he stopped and came to the bhikkhu and asked, Bhante, please go this way and see. The bhikkhu saw the corpse and reflected on the corpse, Asubha Bhavana. After that, he contemplated Vipassana, and then he also became Anagami. They can attain higher Dhamma quickly because they always stay with mindfulness. So by staying with mindfulness all the time, the former concentration supports the later concentration. And our parami and vipassana jnana become mature, we may realize higher Dhamma in one day. And then we can also do recollection of death, Marananusati. When we go to a funeral, thinking that I also will die like this person one day. By doing so, attachment will reduce gradually, and when we have to separate with the beloved one, the separation comes with ease. Therefore, we have to do recollection of death, Marananusati, frequently, and this also prepare for our mind to face death with dignity. So upon seeing or thinking of a dead person who is of same age, younger or older, one should do Marananusati thus. I will also die like this person, even though I am now still healthy. except for some area person. No one can know ahead at which age oneself will die, and die of which disease, in what time, be buried in which cemetery, and will go to which destination. Therefore, Lady Seattle, who was very famous in Myanmar, said that, why every being fears death? Because after death, most people do not know in which sphere of existence they would be reborn. If they know ahead of their next existence after that end, they could take rebirth in any existence they choose. No one would fear death so much. Unfortunately, the next existence for the most people is uncertain. So before death comes, we have to prepare to face it with dignity and bravely. So far, many examples on how to attain higher Dhamma using different objects have been explained. The Buddha taught 40 meditation methods. So after building up concentration using one of these methods, such as Anapana, Buddhanusati, Metta Bhavana, Asubha Bhavana, or Marananusati, and so on, we can attain higher Dhamma by continuing to contemplate on Vipassana. But it is not a one-time doing. We have to stay with mindfulness all the time. Venerable Ananda attained arhatship by reflecting on Kaya Gata Sati, such as head hair, body hair, fingernail, toenail, teeth, and so on. When he reflected on this Kaya Gata Sati Bhavana, he walked almost the whole night, and he realized that his virya had exceeded. So he intended to lie down on bed with mindfulness, inclined to work his meditation, bhavana. He attained arhatship before totally lying down, halfway of lying down position. This is because he always stayed with mindfulness. He never put down his bhavana. In another example, Mahatesa Mahathera was famous in Sri Lanka. One day, the Mahathera went for alms round from Jediya mountain monastery to Anuradha city. On the way, he heard the loving sound of a woman. He concentrated on the tip of that woman, and he saw the woman as a skeleton. This is because Mahathera developed the skeleton meditation internally and externally again and again in the past. And when he went for alms round, he did not put down his meditation and he went with mindfulness. So when he went for alms round and faced with the loving woman on the way, He concentrated on how teeth and skeleton appear. When he contemplated vipassana meditation on the skeleton, he attained Arahata, Megha, and Phala in that very place. Another example is Kematiri, who was very beautiful and a chief consort of King Bimbisara, also attained arahatship because of Asubha Bhavana. She was ranked by the Buddha among his female disciples, the foremost for great insight, Mahapanya Eka. It is the same rank as Venerable Sariputta was the foremost for great insight among the male disciples. Let us focus on Jhana Pachaya again. Let us see if we put our mind completely on one object. We will gain concentration and 5 jhana factors become clear. The combination of these 5 jhana factors is called jhana. It is just like a tree is so called because of the combination of roots, stems, branches, leaves, etc. If there is only one of them, it cannot be called a tree, a car, a house, a monastery, etc. In the same way, jhana is so called because of the combination of 5 jhana factors. Vitakka is equivalent to thinking. The characteristic of vitakka is to apply the mind on an object. The nature of vitakka is that if it is associated with kusala citta, it becomes kusala vitakka. And if associated with akusala citta, it becomes akusala vitakka. There are 3 kusala vitakka and 3 akusala vitakka. 3 akusala vitakka are kama vitakka, vyabhada vitakka, vihimsa vitakka. Kama vitakka means one meeting with desirable object because of seeing, hearing, etc. Lobha thought arises, and this lobha thought is kama vitakka. Vyabhada vitakka means dosa thought arises because of hate and dissatisfaction is called vyabhada vitakka. One vyabhada vitakka strong, it causes to arise not only hateful thought, but also thought of wanting to torture or to kill, and this strong thought is called vihimsa vitakka. Vitakka accompanied with jhana factors is the thought associated with kusala. 3 kusala vitakka are Nikkhamma vitakka, Abhyabhada vitakka, Avihimsa vitakka. Nikkhamma vitakka is the thought wanting to relinquish sensual pleasure. Abhyabhata Vitaka is the thought of forbearance or loving kindness. Avihimsa Vitaka is the thought of compassion without having a mind to torture others. How do jhana factors appear in practicing in-breath and out-breath? To get samadhi, one should choose a quiet place. Sit cross-legged and make the upper part of the body erect. Preparing like this is to create a good condition to avoid pain and uncomfortable feeling. After that, be mindful on the in-breath and out-breath. If the mind becomes calm, the breath becomes subtler, and gradually the in-breath and out-breath change its form into a nimitta step by step. The nimitta will not be the same in each individual. It depends on one's perception, sanya. When focusing on nimitta, also 5 jhana factors are clear. Vitaka, applying the mind on the nimitta. Vichara, examining the nimitta repeatedly. Piti, liking on the nimitta. Sukha, feeling blissful on the nimitta. Ekagata, one-pointedness mind on the nimitta. Furthermore, jhana composed of 5 jhana factors is called first jhana. Jhana with 3 jhana factors is called second jhana. Jhana with 2 jhana factors is third jhana. Jhana with 2 jhana factor is fourth jhana. After fourth jhana, if a meditator changes the object of meditation and continue to practice, he can go to arupa jhana also. Now we explain a lot of example already. Let us read the jhana pachaya in Pali sentence. Jhaningani jhana sambhyodagana dhammana tansmotana ninja rupana jhana pachayena pachayo. Jhaningani means jhana factors. Jhana sambhyodagana dhammana, associated cetasika. Tansmotana ninja rupana, the rupa produced by the ceta. Then is that ceta, smotana, ninja, produced rupana rupa. So the rupa produced by that ceta is cetija rupa. Jhana pachayena, to be tranquil on one object by way of jhana condition. Pachayo, cause to support. Jhana factors cause to support associated cetasika and cetija rupa to be tranquil on one object by way of jhana condition. Jhana pachaya.
Sale.
Yeah.
May I know where is the where is the party for to be tranquil?
That is the we translate to be understand about jhana. This
Okay.
jhana is to be tranquil. Jhana meaning is whenever whoever enter the jhana, this become tranquil, equanimity. That's why to make more understand the meaning, have to put that word.
Thank you, Sally.
Yeah. So if we enter first jhana, in 7 jhana, 34 nama appear. If Kamawajara jhana enter also, 34 Kamawajara kusala, Chaita and Cetasika appear. Mahakusala and Kamawajara kusala are same. So here, 1 Chaita and 33 Cetasika altogether 34. We will see here 5 jhana factor and 34 mental factor. Vedana is sukha here. In 34 mental factor at the time, piti is including, so the vedana is sukha vedana. Ekagata, one-pointedness. Jhana factor. Vitaka, initial application. Vichara, sustained application. Piti is piti. So altogether, 5 jhana factor are clear in Kamawajara kusala jhana or Rupawajara kusala jhana. The Chaitanya Rupa produced by tranquil mind is very calm. Jhanapajaya is not only concentrating on samatha object with kusala mind, but also concentrating on one object with akusala mind. Jhanapajaya has been explained quite completely already. So let me conclude here. Jhanapajaya. Tomorrow I'm going to explain about Magga-pajaya. So is there any question about Jhanapajaya?
Yes, Sajale, I have a question, Sajale.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I read some book, they say 7 jhana factor. They act upekha and they act domanasa. Are they wrong, Sajale?
In jhana factor?
Yeah, they say 7 jhana factor. So they act upekha and they also act domanasa. They say that's a 7 jhana factor. So
7
today
jhana
you say 5 jhana factor. So that means something they wrong or they act two more. Is that not right?
Jhana factor
Yeah.
Only altogether we learn altogether only 5 jhana factors.
Okay.
But sometimes upekha include because of if go to 4th jhana, 4th rupa vajra jhana or 4th arupa vajra jhana. At the time, Vedana feeling is not sukha anymore. Only at the time upekha. Replace upekha with sukha Vedana. But domanassa is not jhana factor.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Sayale.
Okay. Yeah.
Sayale, is the Chittaja Rupa of the akusala jhana mind also very calm?
Chittaja rupa.
Of the akusala jhana mind, is it also tranquil and calm?
Maybe because when they focus on akusala object also, they are focusing with concentration. So because of that concentration, they are not moving around and very stay in one place and quietly, and maybe that also very calm. Like the receptor mind also very calm, not active like this. Here, because of that concentration all on right object is kusala. Concentration on wrong object is akusala. But when they focus on any object with concentration, the rupa also very calm and can stay in one position very long time.
Thank you, Sally.
So, is there any question? For example, 1% fission, that fission also with concentration fish. If moving hand cannot catch the fish, so have to very stable and not move, and even the eye also not move. Only in this way, have concentration a lot, and because of that mind arising, the Jadija Rupa also calm. If no more question, we stop here. Okay. We share our merit today we have done to all living beings and all devas by reciting Idame Ponyan together. Idame Ponyan Sawakaya Vahahotu Idame Ponyan Nibbana Pachayo Hotu Mama Punya Bhagan Sabha Satana Pajimi Desapi Mesama Punya Bhagan Labantu Sadhu Sadhu Sadhu.
Thank you, Sally.
Thank you, Sally.
Thank you, Sayale.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Thank you, Sayale.
Sadhu, sadhu.